Now this next song, much like the first one, is actually two songs in one. The song that acts as the bookend of this particular one is All Hail the Brain, and the one that happens in the middle is No One Says No to a Boy with a Terminal Illness. But just as with the first one, I can't really talk about just one separately, so I'm going to talk about both of them together, plus they're both together on the soundtrack. Brett and the popular kids have told Evan that the way that they'll come to his party is if they get all of them in to see The Bloodmaster, which is an R-rated film. And Evan has a plan. Kind of. Sort of. Hopefully. Well, okay, he comes up with a couple of horrible ones, but then he realizes that he can use Archie to his advantage. So Evan convinces Archie to guilt Evan's mother into buying the tickets so that they have the tickets to get into the Bloodmaster and everybody's happy. And that's pretty much what's going on plot-wise. Now these two songs do something very well. They introduce us to the school feeling of this play. With the other songs, they were pretty much just one person singing. I mean, obviously the first song wasn't just one person singing, but with the new location, this is really the first song when everybody's singing. And at the very beginning, it's everyone singing about how Evan is going to get them all in to see the movie. So it's a lot of whispering and a lot of, oh, this is going to happen, it's going to happen tonight, the brain's going to do it. Incidentally, the brain is the nickname that Brett gave Evan. And we also, of course, hear the whispering about how Brett's going to give Kendra the tongue. Because that's really the only reason why Brett wants to go on a date with Kendra, so that he can give her the tongue. Because he's a teenage boy. With the song, what we also see is we see Evan step into this role. We see him embrace the role of brain and just run with it. So he comes up with plans and he talks about how once this goes through, he's going to be the most popular kid and everything's going to be awesome for him. And everyone will say, all hail the brain. And we also see him use Archie's disease to his advantage, just like Archie used it for his own advantage. I mean, without Archie, Evan wouldn't have been able to get the tickets. Unless, of course, you read the book, and then he actually uses the whole Jewish guilt trip to get his mother to buy the tickets. But in this particular version, without Archie, he wouldn't have gotten the tickets. But we also see something that's not quite as pleasant. Which is not to say that Evan completely embracing the role of brain and using Archie to his own advantages and just throwing Patrice to the curb is particularly pleasant. But Evan thinks it is. What am I talking about? Well, we also hear Brett doing a little bit of scheming. And I say a little bit because Brett's not that intelligent, so to call it scheming is kind of polite, but you get the idea. Because Brett's not really friends with Evan. And he comes right out and states it during the song. He says, I never thought he'd take the bait. This is great, Evan Goldman. He's using this term of the brain as not really a way of becoming Evan's friend. He used this role of the brain to bait Evan, and Evan fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And this is basically what happens in this song, but before I move on, I will quickly address the song in the middle. All this song really does is something I've mentioned. It convinces Archie to guilt Evan's mom into getting him the tickets. One of the more interesting things about this song, though, is that it's kind of a soft shoe. I mean, seriously, it's incredibly laid back for a song about how Evan's telling Archie to use his debilitating disease to his advantage. But really, it's just Evan taking Archie's own view of his disease and using it for himself. I mean, as we've already found out, Archie is perfectly willing to use his disease to his advantage, and he's also extraordinarily nonchalant about it. So Evan takes that in stride, and the song reflects that. And by the end, everybody's happy. The tickets have been bought, Archie has his date with Kendra, Evan's going to be the most popular kid in school, and now all that's left is for everybody to get ready for the movie. So, that's all for this song. Tune in 2 weeks from now for the next song. See you then.